Gotta go and get it. Yeah, gotta go and get it. Money making mission. Ay, money making mission. Money making mission. Ay, gotta go and get it.
Welcome back to the Money Making Mission podcast. I got my man Aske here today. We're going to be talking about all he's doing with the move from rapping to entertainment to business owner. He's going all over the place with it, so we're going to get the scoop on him. And thank you for coming, man.
No doubt, always, man.
Cool.
Everybody.
Yeah, so pretty much just who are you, where are you from? You know, the quick little intro, just to kind of let everybody know who you are and what you're about.
So, yeah, I'm Aske, man, Tucson, Arizona artist, entrepreneur, business owner. Man, I did everything under the sun, man. So, born and raised from the T.
So, yeah, and then we'll get into a little bit about how you went from being, a rapper. Mm-hmm. You used to play basketball.
Yep.
And, you started rapping and you really took that to a business standpoint, because the way that you kind of run your business is more than just, you don't just show up with the homies and spit flows at night anymore. That's not just limited there. Yeah. Like you're here really, honing in your craft. You're really taking it serious and you're really marketing yourself. If you think about a lot of the rappers and stuff now that like they just kind of post on their SoundCloud or whatever their platform of choice is, and then they don't really take it to the level of their marketing and branding themselves. Like you have merch to this point. Like you made it something desirable further than just something that someone can listen to.
Right.
Exactly. And then you're no longer just a rapper. You're an entertainer. Is that what you would say?
All around? Yeah, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, and then in turn becoming an entrepreneur for yourself, or you've been an entrepreneur because. So when did you first decide like you were gonna rap? Like how was your process into that? Like, did you always know you wanted to be a rapper?
No. Yeah, my you know me, man. My plan was to play ball.
Yeah.
I was gonna go to a JUCO and go that way with it and see where it took me, but I decided to take another direction, and then like after high school I realized that it wasn't what I wanted to do. Like I loved it, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. So I spent those years trying to figure out like what was my thing, and I always like had like a little ability to rap.
Yeah,
and like I just gave it a try, bro, and just.
Yeah, and then just killed it.
You know what I mean? Yeah, no, we just went for it, man. And then nobody was really behind me for a minute because it was just a hobby, like.
And I think that's typical, like with anybody.
Yeah, I had to prove to my brother and everybody else that this is what I wanted to do.
Yeah, especially because in high school, you tell the homies like, oh, y'all, I'm gonna be a rapper or something like that. Yeah, everybody's like, nah, bro, like, yeah, right, you're gonna be a rapper, like, exactly. And then it's like it's just that, and even like family members. I remember like when talking to people and then. Family members being like, "Oh, rapper! Like, what are you gonna like? How? Like, it's just it's very like looked down upon. It's very kind of out of the world. But then again, so is like becoming a millionaire in anything. Like, if you say like, "Yo, I'm gonna make mad money doing, real estate or this and that," and you're a kid, nobody takes you serious.
Nobody takes you serious until you do it.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's just what it is.
And I think you went about it the exact right way because you have turned it into a business. You've marketed, you've branded, like. You're not just Angel no more. You're Aske baby. You're
850.
Yeah, 850. You're killing it like on all aspects of what people can relate to. You're putting out music that isn't just like one genre of music. You're not just talking about one thing.
Right.
You have your songs that are specifically like towards the more. I don't want to say emotional, but towards a deeper meaning.
Right.
Like,
it's more conscious, if anything. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Like conscious, meaning behind it, lyrical. Like you've got, and then especially because I like some of like the more grimy stuff that you got going on. And it's like, and it still has, like that content. It's not just your typical like hype stuff that everyone's listening to. You still got like things that people want to hear, and then it's like makes you step back and think. And I think that part really. Is what's going to continue to separate you from a lot is just being relevant and making people say like, what did he say? Like,
exactly,
I'm gonna
going
go
back,
back,
and,
yeah.
and rewinding. That's the biggest thing is I always wanted to do is have replay value, man.
Oh, yeah,
It's real
absolutely.
easy to hear something and then you just skip over it and you're like, all right, yeah, that was cool. But,
Yeah.
like, something has to catch your ear and be like, oh man, he just said that. Like,
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
Because I'm a fan, you know what I mean, and that's what I do. Like whenever I hear something, I got to go back and then I'll replay it while I'm driving 3-4 times.
Oh,
and,
absolutely, yeah.
you
You just got to think about what works with other people. What is that? And and you definitely done that. So pretty much, what do you think? Like your biggest, like the biggest things that have pushed you to kind of making it more of a business. Like, where did you get that business background of like, or did you just kind of, learn it along the way? Did you have anyone that kind of told you like, yo, like a big homie that was like, check it out, like this is what you want to do? Like,
first it started off with just wanting to separate myself. Because, like, even in Tucson, just like locally and regionally, like Arizona, like there's a million rappers.
Yeah.
So I had to think like, what was I going to do to separate myself?
Yeah, exactly.
From everybody, like what was going to be my thing, and eventually you start to look when things aren't working, and you're like, man, bro, I've been dropping music every week. I've done 100 shows in just 6 months. Like,
yeah,
what's my, like, why aren't we seeing the progress that we wanted to see? And then I had to fall back and take a different approach. I had to take myself serious.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
I had to make myself a brand and take that jump. And later along the line, like once I started taking myself serious, then I started meeting different people who have nothing to do with music, but
yeah,
they're millionaires. They're people who figured it out. And the thing that I learned whenever I was around these people was marketing. Everybody talked about marketing, bro. Like, how are you going to brand yourself? Who are you? What do you stand for? What are you selling? What value do you have? I started thinking about that. Like, what are you bringing to the table? And then I was like, you know what? Okay, like we're gonna change. We're gonna change the paradigm and go this way.
For sure, yeah. And because I think a big part it out of everybody that I've met that is very successful and making millions of dollars, they've always said like branding and marketing. Like you are a brand. Like whether it's your company you're selling or yourself, like whatever it is, you are a brand or your business is a brand that needs to be made. Exactly. And if you sit there and kind of allow that to kind of slip from you and you don't really, come up with this idea of something, like you're going to slip through the cracks. Like there's, like you said, there's hundreds of people that are also rapping. And just like with my business, there's hundreds of people painting. There's so many painters. There's so many drywallers. There's so many home improvement specialists. Like, and the painters, that just includes people that specialize in painting. It's not even like the people that do construction who also involve painting. Like, there's hundreds of people. And if you don't set yourself up to be that person where it's like, all right, man, like I'm out of it. It's the same way with that. Business is business no matter what.
Of course, your friends and your tias can only take you so far.
Yeah,
you can like sharing your hustle, your business, whatever it is, and then you got to start thinking like, all right, what budget am I going to put?
Towards it.
To market and what are the goals and expectations of it? So,
yeah, exactly. And then that's another good point is like how do you invest in yourself to continue to do that? And you've obviously invested in the marketing aspect of you have merch you sell out of South 6th.
Yeah, both stores.
Yeah, so because they're located at Tucson Mall and Park Place. So you're selling out of there when you do shows. I'm assuming you had merch on this. Yeah. So that's all those kind of things is and another thing I wanted to bring up about your merch is you have. I'm sure it's easier because you're relatively hip to the trends. I mean, you're involved in what's cool now. Like myself, I'm not as hip to stuff, but like what's going on. Like you're out here seeing what's going on, what's popular. Like what's happening, and you made that into that, and you kind of like kept it like streetwear. Like all your logos and stuff are very relevant.
It's what I would want to wear.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like it's very relevant. It's good design. It's good streetwear. It's what people want to rock. So like that's a really important thing as well as and same thing goes with any other business. Same thing goes with a painting company, whatever. Like your logo has to be something that makes sense. Like It has to be something that's appealing, catches your eye. It's memorable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it has to sound good. Like it's all those things that you're still taking and doing. So very good on that. You know, so as far as like, you know, since we're talking about merch on tours and everything, so I know you went on tour for a while. How you were on tour for quite a while, right?
Yeah, I did 2 for like 2 months each.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, and you were all over the country, right?
All over.
Yeah. What was like your like favorite place that you went to?
Salt Lake City, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, of all places, Salt Lake City gives, man, they go crazy.
They have
Salt Lake
mad
City
love out
up there. Buffalo's up there. Portland's up there. Denver's up there.
Yeah, I bet like Portland's probably like a fun place to
Portland's
perform.
crazy.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so that's awesome. What and you do mad shows here too. Like you're constantly doing shows here. I feel like you just did a show and then you do another show and I'm like, wow, like he's staying busy. Yeah, like,
and even then it's like you still can't like saturate yourself. You know what I mean? Like it's real easy to say, oh, I'm gonna do a show every weekend.
Yeah.
But you take away like the mystique, you know what I mean?
Right,
like,
yeah, because it's like you know they'll see you.
And then people say like, oh well, like I could miss this show and know that he'll have one next week. So
right, yeah, you gotta kind of have
you take away, yeah. So you can't really like bring yourself out in a sense, and you got to make sure like it's something serious. So whenever we pop out, I pop out, like it's something serious. Like people feel like, oh, I have to be there because
well, and I think so. Speaking on that, when you do have shows, it's you'll switch it up where it's at, and then it's usually with like an accompanying an event. Like so, like I feel like something's always going on with it. Like
for sure.
Yeah, it's like something that's more involved, and it's like it's bringing more value to the people that want to come, and so they're getting all this out of it.
Experience,
like,
you're getting something out of it, so that way. If you do miss out, you're like...
Yeah, you actually missed out, and it's like the next one's not going to be like this one. Like, it's like, okay, cool. Like, if I miss this one, like, I'm not going to get that one back. I'm going to...
Yeah, it's not
So it's like
same.
providing that different value, and like, you're like, oh, shit. Like, okay, I want to go to this one and that one, because they both are doing different shit. And, it seems definitely, like, really cool to kind of see, like, the consistency, and like you said, not oversaturating where it's like the same thing. Exactly. You're keeping it fresh and doing stuff like that. So, that's a... Definitely a big part of what I notice of what you do. So yeah, pretty much, I've known you since high school, back in the day in math class.
Freshman year, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy. Mr. People's class, right? Math?
Vias.
No, I didn't have Vias. I think it was People's.
Was it People's?
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. So anyways, but I remember seeing you there, and we became good friends after that. And then what pretty much do you remember kind of like changing throughout your high school experience, or even like junior high experience, of like changing into where you kind of decided like, hey, like I'm gonna start, because where have you worked before? Like, did you have like jobs before that like you worked at?
Yeah, I had hella jobs, honestly. I was always
so you're always
moving
trying
around
to
and trying to figure out where I was at, and then I made a leap, and I was like, I'm gonna just bet it all,
do it,
and just do it,
Well, and then so that's kind of where I was going with that, is kind of where, because me, I pretty much only worked like a couple places my whole life, and it was like stayed with them, and I never wanted to take a leap in between. And anytime I did take a leap, I was very like nervous too, until I finally did. Right. So that's why I bring that up, is just kind of like, were you always kind of like, I'm looking for the next thing to kind of get me where I want to be? Or
that's always what it was, and there came a point where I was just like, man, like I honestly hate answering to people, and I was like, I'd rather do my own shit,
absolutely,
and run my own thing, and I'd rather put in 12 hours of my own shit than to give that to somebody
8 hours
else, and I'm not making what I know I'm supposed to
what
make.
your value is.
Exactly what my value is, because I know what I bring to the table. And it's like, even then, like, I've always been so anti-job, but like, if you are that like mentally aware, there is nothing wrong with you keeping that job and then just turning up right after. But you really have to be, dialed in to say, okay, from 9 to 5, I'm going to be here and I'm going to devote this time. But then as soon as I get out, no matter how I feel, I'm going to devote, from 5 to wherever it may be, to my hustle. You know what I mean? It gets hard to do that, because I tried to do that and I was just like, man, nah, like we're gonna bet it all. You know, like I remember when I first found out I was going on tour, bro. I walked out of a job.
Yeah, it's like
I was just like, yo, I left my brother. I was like, yo, I'm out of here. Like we were
together?
at a call center, and bro was taking a call, and I was like, hey, bro just told me we going on the road, bro. I was like, I'm out, bro. I was getting yelled at on the phone and shit. I was like, man, no, I ain't gotta do this shit. I'm going on tour, bro.
Yeah,
like,
dude, that's like
I'm out,
like a movie right there. Just
exactly,
like,
no cap.
Yeah, no, it's that's a kind of one of those big like epiphany moments where you put in effort and you push and you push and you network with people and you get those connections, and then you finally get to that point where you're like, man, like, yeah, I'm doing this. Like, this is what I'm going to do. Because I remember first starting my business, it was right when COVID just happened. My daughter was a couple weeks before she was born, and I was like, shit, man, I'm not making nearly enough money to let my girl stay home and watch the kids and do all this. And it was like a last minute thing. I almost quit painting. I was a painter working for a company before, and I almost quit. And I was going to be a plumber because I was like, plumbers make more money. I was like, I'm going to go work for a plumbing company and make more money eventually. Like eventually, after I'm a helper for a few years, whatever I got to do. And I was like, yeah, that's how I'm going to get a little bit of bread. But now, like, I'm like, damn, like, that's crazy that I thought that way instead of, doing what I did. And I'm glad I did that. But it literally.
Because it is scary, bro. You think about it and you're like, damn, am I, like, capable of.
It's a risk.
Really taking it and doing this.
Running with it, yeah. Because it's like you said, it's sink or swim. So the story of how he came to conquer the Aztecs, they docked all their ships and they said, burn the ships because we don't want anyone thinking that there's somewhere else to run back to. Like we want to know that this is our only option. Because if we leave the ships there, people are going to know like, oh, we're losing, run back to the ships. Like, no, there's no option. We either win or we die here. And obviously, business is not as intense. You're not going to die. But it's if you live with that kind of mentality and you kind of, you put that towards what you want, like, you once you get that burning desire to really win something, you're going to win it. And that's kind of just what I kind of want to teach and instill upon people, like, especially with this podcast. Like, that's what mainly this is for, is to let people understand that, like, no matter what you're doing, like, if you're becoming an entertainer, if you're becoming, a small business owner of service industry, like if you're, selling products online, e-commerce, anything like that, like, you can be just as successful as the next person if you really truly believe that's what you want. Yeah,
you gotta bet on yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a different feeling when you put your own money up. I always tell people that it's a different feeling when it's your money and you're coming out of pocket. Absolutely. And it's like, all right, like, am I gonna fuck this money up, or am I gonna, make something out of it? And even then, like, you still will, but at least like, I did everything I was supposed to do. You figure out what worked, you figure out what didn't work, and then you go from there. Because there are gonna be There's gonna be things that are like not gonna work. Even if you had a whole concrete plan and you're like, okay, this is what I expect from this. If I do this, I'm gonna do this. And even then, like, shit still don't work. But
all the time. There's gonna be the path to success is never straightforward on an uphill scale.
You just have to be realistic.
Yeah,
and I had to learn that too. You have to be realistic. You have to. You still have to believe that anything is possible, and you do have to shoot for the for the stars. But you still, on the way there, you still have to have. You got to realize, you got to realize there's a great in between that you're gonna have to tweak stuff. There's gonna be a lot of work and
and there's systems that will work better than others, and there's things that aren't gonna really happen correctly if you take the wrong step, and that's fine. Right? There's always gonna be the correction period where you say, okay, like, there's no such thing as failing. It's just you win or you learn. Yeah, and it's like, and if you do make a mistake, and all it is you take a step back, say, all right, cool, back to the drawing board, figure it out, and then make it up. And it's obviously it's a lot easier saying that than it is to do. But at the end of the day, if this shit was easy, everybody would do it. Exactly. Yeah, everybody would be doing it.
And you have to love what you do, Like,
absolutely.
You have to love it, and you have to be crazy about it, because
if
not, then
And I think there's kind of a lot of people talk about, like, you got to love what you do, and people get confused with the sense of, like, oh, then that means, like, I got to love, like working all day and like taking this part of this job because it's it's you know, part of like that's the job, and I have to do this just because it's whatever, and like I can't do what I love because it doesn't work, whatever. People do that, and it's like it's not necessarily about that. Like it's like you, if you're a business owner, you gotta love what you do in the sense like that, like you're running your own thing. And with me, like I could care less about painting, really. Like, you know, I painted for so long that I was tired of paint, but it's like I found the love in the running the business part of it, and now I love painting because I know it and stuff like that. So you got to kind of like find what you love, exactly. And if you find what you love about something, like you make it work. This shit'll happen. So that's just another thing that, you know, a lot of people kind of misinterpret, and then they don't do it because they say like, well, I don't love this, so I don't want to do it. But really, it's like that could be your vehicle to getting to where you want to be.
You got to play every part to win, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Play every role to win.
Yeah. So, and then, what was your like first time recording? Like, what was that? Like that moment where you were like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna make a song, or like where you just like chilling with the homies and they had a studio set up and you popped in.
I think it was at Grenezy's crib.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. You know what? No. Yeah, it was. I think it might have been Grenezy's crib, or there was this other cat that was a mutual homie, and he was like, "Hey, I'm going to the studio. You wanna go lay something down?" I think that might have been it, but it might have been Grenezy's crib though, and they were all recording there or whatever, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, like let me try it, because I've always freestyled.
Yeah, I remember one time. Yeah. I think it was that time I was getting my stomach tattooed, and you came to the shop, and then because we talk about it all the time, or not all the time, but we talked about it multiple times, like. Me and some of the people that were there, and we were like, yeah, I remember that time everyone was freestyling, Aske was killing it, and it was just, it's funny because when you think about stuff, you don't really realize like what effect it has on certain people. Like your brand doesn't just stop at what you do, you know, with your clothing or whatever. It starts where, you know, you were freestyling with the homies one day, and exactly. Then you everybody remembered that. They're like, dang, this fool was killing it, like he's still killing it. Like those kind of things all build your brand. Like that's all
you
one
have
brand.
To back up who you are.
Yeah,
you know, and especially like, well, in any realm, but it's like with me being a rapper, like not every cypher obviously I'm gonna just like run and jump into, but it's like if I hear something dope, and it's because I love it too. Like I have no choice but to to do it. You know, it's like how I felt about basketball. Like I still feel it. Like if I see somebody shooting hoops or some shit, like, like hey, let me go shoot one. Let me go do this because I love it so much that I can't just sit
and
watch. You know, and I just happen to be dope. So now it's like, okay, I'm not just dope, but I have this and this and this now. So if you like what you heard. Now,
go check this out.
You know what I mean? Go check out everything more. Check it all out. Yeah, it's beyond me just kicking it now. It's like, all right, but I'm just backing up who I am and what I do and, you know, what I believe in. That's all it is.
Yeah, no, for sure. Absolutely. What are your favorite ways to market yourself? Because I want to bring up a couple things that you do, but I just curious on like your specific ways. Like, yo, I got a track coming out. Like, this is what I'm going to do. Like,
the rollout content is big, man. So, like, I like to be prepared. If I know I have a song, you know, that's dope, and we all agree that this is going to be the song, I want to make sure that I have some type of photo shoot. I got some type of visual, you know, like I have content to get me ready for that release.
Yeah.
Because it used to be just, oh, here's my new song, guys. I hope you guys like it. And then
and there was no built up
and it
tension,
doesn't do shit.
Or
we don't
like
make money.
Excitement.
It doesn't do anything. And if you sit back and you come up with a plan and you build the suspense, you have people kind of anticipating and waiting, like, oh man, like when are you gonna do this? But you got to learn too that like you can't keep people waiting too long. Yeah. And I had to learn that too. So it's like a happy medium where I'm like, I'll spend 2 to 3 weeks rolling out a single or a project. I'll have all my content ready. We have a budget put aside for Instagram ads and, you know, all the Google AdSense, all that kind of, you know, all that kind of shit. But it's really just, you know, having that attention to detail and really like it's the love thing again. Like,
well, and just real quick, since you mentioned, you know, you have the budget for the ads, like you got Facebook ads, Google ads. I think it's important for people to know that you're doing that because a lot of people are so against, like it happens a lot in tattooing. It happens a lot, I feel, in rapping, like in any type of like music entertainment. these like ideas that if you sponsor your own ads and you pay money to get that exposure, like you're lame for it or something, like. And it's crazy because it happens a lot. It happens a lot because it's like, oh, like I'm not gonna pay for my shit because I'm gonna get like my organic followers and stuff, and it's like,
and you're gonna stay where you're at.
And it happens. I say in tattooing and rapping stuff, but it happens in the service industry as well.
Right.
Painting, all this stuff. I'm in painting groups and stuff on Facebook, and they all talk about, yeah, oh no, marketing doesn't work for me. Advertising doesn't work for me.
Well, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, I was like, I promise you, you're doing it wrong. Because the only reason I say that so confidently is because I was on that same page. Like I was the one saying, oh, I spent $5 on a Facebook ad for 2 days and it didn't work.
Right.
Like what am I supposed to do? I'm like, it's not going to work overnight. Like you need to maintain, and it goes back to the branding and all that. And who
is your demographic? You know, like who do you want to appeal to? Like,
what audience is getting their house painted? What audience is listening to your music? Like most people just put like the smart search on one and then just leave it and then hope that, those 65-year-old ladies are opening your song and hoping that it's going to get a view.
Fuck that, man.
Yeah, it just doesn't work. And it's important for people to know that, because I think the issue with a lot of people is just kind of the confidence that they're going to get these organic leads for no reason. And it's all a game. It's all a placement game.
Nobody is entitled to support you, man.
Absolutely not. And I think another good point to bring up is that no one is entitled to support you, or like to get support from everybody. Like you can wish and hope that everybody around you and everybody that follows you, like I can wish and hope that everybody's going to listen to this podcast and it's going to blow up right away. But chances are it's not going to appeal to everybody, because that's how life works. I can't force myself to listen and watch things that I don't care for, even though it may be a good show.
But if you find the audience,
exactly. If you force it in there, then So if you go and bring the people that want it, then it's gonna do great. Yeah. Exactly. So that's like a big thing, and I think that's really important for people to understand. Is like, not only is it important for the service industry, not only is it important for the entertainment business, like selling e-commerce, like anything like that, man. It's all the same. It's all really important to put that into your business and really get that strong structure. Yeah. One thing that I really like that you do is the like when you do like the acapella like snippets of like songs coming out, and it's like you'll hear it. The one you had with the dude playing the guitar.
Oh that just happened, bro. Like
it seemed like it seemed natural. Like it didn't seem like you were like, okay, we're gonna hire some guy and we're gonna have him stand here and we're gonna pose and we're like action. Like it was just like, yo, like let's get this cracking real quick. Like it seemed like mad.
I was out there for my cuñado's wedding. We were in Mazatlan for a little bit. I was with my lady, and I saw this guy jamming. He had his chihuahua, and she had like glasses on and shit. And I was like, you know what? Like, let's see if he's down. We'll shoot him some pesos and see if he'll, if he can get down on it. Yeah. And he ended up, he loved music too, man. So like, he was just with it, and that was it, man. We just vibed out. It was cool. I ended up chopping it up for like 30 minutes. We just kicked it. Like after that, we just kicked it, but. That's what you got to do, though. You got to keep it fresh and make use of your environment, no matter where you're at. Like I could make an apartment look dope.
Yeah.
Because we are so like 10 toes with what we do and so creative about it. We're like, man, we're gonna make this shit look raw. Like.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's about kind of like adapting to where you're at and kind of, you guys can do your visuals and. Where are you guys in Scottsdale?
There's this guy. Like I could
beautiful,
man, bro. Like I could literally chill. Like it's crazy because I could go from driving like $150,000 fucking Corvette to just hopping out of a bucket.
Oh yeah, bro.
But it's gonna look so well put together
because you know how to adapt it to whatever the visual for whatever track you're going over, like whatever it is, like you're adapting to it, and it's the same thing with anything. It's if you can adapt to that audience and that kind of vibe, and if you can really encompass that energy, it's gonna work. But it's just the people that don't want to. So it's just important to kind of get
Right.
that vibe going.
Make use of what you have. Right?
Exactly, yeah, for sure. Do you plan on kind of like traveling and doing more? I know you talked about you were out in Atlanta for a little while. Like, do you plan on kind of continuing that, like trying to find somewhere else to go, or you?
Yeah, it's like home. Home is home, but like it goes back to that, like what I was saying, like on betting on yourself. Like, will I just get up and leave? And that's what happened with Atlanta. Like, I was presented with an opportunity, and it's like whether it goes the way I wanted to or not, do I believe in myself enough to take that opportunity and make something out of it, or am I gonna let fear get in the way of
And
what
like
I have
keep you
going
from
on? Exactly.
doing
So
that stretch.
I feel like once I got that move out of the way, I feel like I could just go anywhere at the drop of a dime and say, hey, we're gonna go here. We have a few stops planned. Like we want to go to LA for a little bit because I'm always back and forth from there too. So it's like I might as well
see you going out there.
Yeah, I might as well go kick it for a little bit and just really see what's out there. And if I don't like it, home is home. The home base is gonna be the home base. I could come back. I know I have my core foundation here. Like when I came back home, I didn't skip a beat. You feel me? Like I already knew what was here.
Yeah.
So now it's like, now that I'm back home, what am I gonna do to elevate everything again? Because it's real easy to be, complacent and say like, I'm popping in the city. Like I'm cool with what I have here. My merch is selling.
Yeah, and then
I'm
just
good.
keep it
and
level.
then you plateau. Yeah, and then you stay on this level, or do I want to take a chance again and bet it all again and see what I get from it and show people too while I'm taking these chances that like, hey, if I'm doing it, you can do it too. Yeah. I drove my truck, bro. 24 hours. You feel me? Yeah, like I drove it, bro. Like
that's badass.
There was no oh, I had a flight lined up and no, like we bet it all. Like we left the crib, we went and we left and that's what it was. We laid all our chips on the line and we committed to what we wanted to do. And it's like if you have that mentality and you take a calculated risk, like why not?
Exactly. Yeah, and like you say, like the calculated risk, like there's a difference between just taking like a blind risk into something and just kind of hoping for the best. Chances are you're gonna fail. Like if you don't have like a real plan. I mean, and like you said too, not everything's concrete. Things are gonna have to switch up, but if you don't have kind of like an idea of what you're gonna do and like maybe like a little backup plan, like okay, cool. If this goes wrong, like what am I gonna do here? Mm-hmm. Like all it takes is just that little bit of calculation, and it's like, all right, cool. Like check it out. Like I can make this happen. I can do this, and then from there, that's where you kind of like you already kind of have a step up because you're one step ahead of the game, and that'll kind of really put you above the rest when it comes to that.
You're not gonna know how real you are, bro, until you jump in the water.
Well, for sure, yeah, sink or swim.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how you know.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have any places that like you'd be like, damn, I'm trying to move there, like that's where I'm trying to kill? Is that kind of what Atlanta was feeling like?
Yeah, Atlanta was like, I felt like, because I feel like what we have is so original that
for sure, yeah.
It's like, man, you've never really seen anything like this because we've never tried to base our shit off of anybody else's. Like I'm inspired by a lot. There's
of course, yeah,
I'm inspired by, but when you hear my voice or you see what I have, like there is.
You don't say like, oh, that's this person, and like
you don't do that, man. So it's like with that too comes like in the industry because everybody likes to base your sound off of somebody. So they're like, oh, if he sounds like so and so, then we have an easier chance of marketing him. So people, I'm not a safe bet, but I like that I'm not a safe bet though, because when that person finally takes a chance on me, we're out of here. You know what I mean? So I felt like when we went to Atlanta, I was like, man, bro, like the shit that we have is so fresh that people are gonna gravitate towards us naturally. Yeah. I was in a club with millionaires, bro, and somehow they find their way asking me what I do. Like, yo, who are you? What do you do? Like, what?
Oh yeah, it's your aura, bro. It's like your ambiance of just
a certain confidence and people will gravitate towards that, and I'm not weird. You feel me? Like I don't move weird. I'm approachable. People can talk to me, and I have something to bring to a conversation. So if I'm chopping it up to somebody, I'm already appearing equal to you because I have the same amount of knowledge, or if I don't, I'm gonna try to figure out something. try to connect a dot somewhere. Like that's always my thing is a dot. I'm a dot connector. Like if somebody needs something in a town, oh, I know so and so can do. You need your house painted, boom. I'm gonna plug you in with Gage. You need this and this, I could plug you in. So I took that mentality out there and tried to figure out what I could do and where I belong. And we just started applying pressure, bro. We went out there and just started making moves. And I feel like now that I got that out of the way, I could do that anywhere.
Well, I think it's important too because with networking, it's easy to go up to somebody and say like, "Hey, how do you do this?" Or "Hey, how can I make $1 million?"
Right.
Like how do I go in a studio and make a banger? Like, or whatever it is you're doing. Like, it's important to go up to somebody if you expect to receive something from them. Like, you have to be able to give something back. Yeah, it's like you can't just kind of expect something to come to you for nothing. So. And so, like you said, like you kind of have those connections in place where you're like, all right, cool, I got you on this. Like,
exactly. Yeah. If it gets brought up, but most of the time, and this is something that I learned from a homie of mine, and he's like a big brother, man. And he told me, he was like, people don't want to talk about what they do.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't go up to an NBA player and be like, yo, how was practice?
Yeah.
I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, if I see you at a bar, like, I'm not gonna talk to you about that.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about something else. So. People don't really, unless like you're that crazy about it, because I could talk about music all day of the week. People don't want to talk about what they've been doing.
Well, especially if they've been doing it forever. Like, yeah, if they've already been doing it,
they
like,
don't want to talk about it. So you got to learn that. Like, that's a big networking tool. Like, even if you are a fan, because I've been around people where I'm like, huge fan, bro, but like I can't.
Yeah, you can't just go up and be like, "Yo, what's up?"
Yeah,
because it's
like,
not the same vibe. Then they're like, "Ah."
And it's like I want you to respect me, like as a peer too, because I've been putting in so much work too, and you know taking those same chances that you took.
Because you can still show love to somebody without being like a fan, like like a fanboy kind of thing.
Appreciate somebody's craft without making them feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like it's kind of like off-putting when if you did come up and just expect like a picture or like just to be able to get like put on game and stuff like that. So
if you want to be cool, man, like that's like the best. That was the best piece of advice that like I've ever received. Like if you ever wanted to, you see somebody that you really fuck with, like don't talk to them about their craft because then you sound like a million other people that they talk to in that.
Exactly. Yeah, you want to sound like somebody that they rarely come across as somebody that can really bring value to.
You want to be memorable, and even then there's still a chance that a person might forget you because there's already a million conversations in that.
Of course,
but, like, You want to plant
get your best chances out of it. Yeah,
plant that seed and figure out what works for you. And I feel like, to answer the question, like any other city, man, I feel like we could jump in and with respectfully, like we could jump in and just do what we're supposed to do because we know what kind of people we are.
So, and then coming with that, as far as being, when you were younger, being like more in the streets and like into more respect shit. Like, well, how have you taken like would you say that the respect? Treading lightly here, but having that respect and that the knowledge of stuff, like, because I think a big part of a lot of people's failures is not understanding that like the repercussions of speaking wrong to people and like kind of like just even not necessarily like repercussions in like that extreme sense, but like just
people will never talk to you again if you say the wrong thing.
Exactly.
That's worse than getting your ass whooped.
Exactly, and that's why you don't really want to like. Whether you're talking to a customer or whether you're talking about, I'm not going to go to somebody's house to do an estimate for painting or to, I'm not going to be on a podcast with somebody talking crazy or talking weird and making them uncomfortable and then making it so they never come on the podcast again.
Time and place.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta learn that. And then I feel like, like being in the streets really, it really, I don't know how to elaborate on this, but it put us in a different position, because now I know how to be around all walks of life. I could be in any kind of room and feel it out and know who's who and
you know how to talk.
Well,
I think the important part of things is being able to know how to talk, because from how I know you and when we've spoken and everything, and even being on a podcast right now, you don't have to change the way you talk, because I know plenty of people, without saying names, that are rappers or were rappers in high school, whatever we want to say, that they, they spoke like a rapper online or whatever, and then they went right back to just like kind of talking.
Being a nerd, right?
Yeah, and then it's like, you can do that. Like with me, like I don't get me wrong, I know how to talk to certain people when I'm talking to certain people, because it's just, I can switch up, but I don't switch up all the way. And then like same thing with you, like you can talk understandably and professionally and stuff without being a different person.
Right. Yeah.
So
what
it's
you
like,
see is what you get, and like with the industry too, like there's a lot of people who, if this person is this person, and then when they get home they're that person, or when they get around certain people, I feel like with me, how everything happened is like who I am is who I am. I don't know how to be
anybody else.
Yeah. Like I can't tell you when I go home I'm Angel, because everybody's still calling me Aske. Like that's just
it's
like,
just you at the end of the day.
I am, and I feel like that's what helps me with branding, is because I didn't have to go find
somebody
anything.
You wanted to be.
No, I didn't have to find anything else. Like everything that embodies who I am is what I push, and people understand that and they respect that, and that's what it is. Like I don't have to put on a show. If you see me outside anywhere, whatever, they know like Aske is Aske. Like what is his thing? Trucks, fashion, art. Like those kind of things. Like they're me.
Yeah,
it's always been me since I was this big. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think so. Another thing that I was thinking about that I wanted to bring up was the fact that you went from like you have the basketball background, you have the graph background, you have the the hip hop in general background. Like you kind of took all those aspects of like the culture of all those things are similar. They're all like kind of like
they're
that urban lifestyle, like
exactly.
whatever, like without, or for the lack of a better word, just you took all that and you really put it together, and you kind of created yourself off of all the pieces of who you are,
right.
And then you made that into your business, and
exactly.
like so that's would you say that's accurate? Would you say that that's pretty much?
There's a sense of transparency. It's like what you see is what you get.
Like
there is no reason to fabricate anything and make it more than what it should be. It's like
definitely.
This is what it is. This is the movement, and it's going to continue to elevate and grow, and there's going to be progress with it. But this is like this is the core base of what it is, and what what we stand for, and like we now it's just honing in on that market and finding those people who have those values and beliefs, and like those the same common love. Like that's really what it is. Like I'm not gonna go out of my way and try to impress a demographic that has nothing to do with me, because then I'm not gonna see any results. I take what I take. If I know that there's a 17-year-old kid that loves graph and loves streetwear and basketball, all the same things that I love, I gotta now find a million other 17-year-old kids that are just like him. I'm not gonna try to find people that have other interests. You know what I mean? If I happen to land and they find me, that's cool. But I'm not gonna do that.
There's a big like thing with sales, and just from my knowledge of like the sales specialists that I've learned from and talked to, and or read their or listened to their podcasts and things like that, like where there's a big like kind of controversy from what I've seen, that like there's a difference between the people that believe you can convert a no to a yes, but there's people that believe that if it's a no, it's a no. Like, so the way I know that and the way I relate that is the sense of, if it's somebody that doesn't want to listen to rap, hip hop, any type of music, like, those people that are just like, turn that racket down kind of thing, who I'm painting a picture of, is just like, you're not going to change their mind.
Right.
Like, that's a no. Like
every now and then, like there will be, a person that'll say like, okay, I don't like this, but this is dope. But that's like, that's fair. You have to be that dope, and you have to be that confident too.
But I guess when I'm thinking about more of like a sales thing, I mean like to purchase. I guess
it is harder to do that, because you do gotta stress the value to a person who doesn't understand that value.
Yeah, definitely.
So you have to be like, I wouldn't tell anybody to not do it, but it's also easier to just understand your market.
Yeah.
And kill your market.
Yeah, just do what's gonna be effective.
There is a part of me too.
Yeah, there's those exceptions.
I would try to do it. Like if I'm at the gym and I see somebody listening to some shit, I'll ask them like, "Hey, what are you listening to?" And if they tell me, "Oh, I'm listening to some type of metal," I'd be like, "Hey, man, I got some motivational shit to get you. I think that will get you through this workout."
Yeah.
Now, whether that person decides to do it or not is up to them. Like if they tell me no, I'm like, all right, cool, but I'm not gonna sit here. Yo, you're not gonna listen to my shit. Then, you know what I mean? Like we're not gonna take it there, but. I'll always shoot the shot.
Yeah.
But my career isn't based on
those
shooting a half-court shot. Like I'm not always gonna do that. I'm gonna stick to what I'm able to make and crush it though.
Right. Yeah. Keep your eye on the prize.
Exactly.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about 850 as a whole. Kind of everybody. I know you guys got multiple parts moving. Not to let any of them not get the credit due. I know your brother's always with you.
Brother's a machine, man.
Yeah.
He's the guy, man. He's the one that seals the deals with a lot of the artists that I've dreamed of working with. And, you know, I tell him what I want to do, and he's the guy that goes out and makes it happen.
Nice, yeah.
So, you know, my brother, he directs the videos, helps with the writing process when I need him to. Just all around, like he plays every role. That's an example of what I was saying earlier. Like you got to play every role to win. Like my brother is the embodiment of playing every role to win. Like whatever I need him to do, he's gonna go do it, and he's gonna be great at it.
Yeah.
Tanner, you know Tanner, man.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Tanner's one of those guys too. He's a numbers guy, so I always talk to Tanner about numbers and
see what makes sense and what doesn't.
We're talking about profits and gross and all those kind of things. Like Tanner's who I trust with that. My brother Kos is just, he's one of those guys too. Like we always come to him for an opinion, and if we need him to work a door at a show, he'll do it. If we need him to jump on a camera and document the tours or whatever, he'll do it. Like everybody that I have on the squad is not great at one thing. They're good at multiple things,
and they're able to pick up slack where it needs to be.
Like wherever I need them to be. Mm-hmm. They're going to do it. So technically I could say that they are great because it gets done and it put us where we're at.
Yeah, yeah.
And, most people would have to outsource to get the work that I get, but it's all in-house with us and we just, we make it happen and I'm grateful to have a team because
absolutely
I see people who don't have a team, bro, and it's ugly. Like I see the work that they put in, and even then, like with me having a team, like I still put in a lot of work. Like I still do a lot of things by myself just because there's certain things that I like to do on my own. So that way, like if I mess it up, there's nobody to blame, but
right.
myself,
yeah. It kind of gives you that accountability.
And I still have to lead because I'm the front man of the group and, we all know that and understand that. So with me taking on that kind of title, I have to live up to certain expectations and I got to go out and be the face of the team and of the brand. And,
absolutely.
And really, put on. So I take on a lot of the work, and it's all a respect thing too. At the end of the day, we all respect each other. And
when it's in a situation like that, it's just like with the company. Like you have the person that is the one who takes the most risk out of everything, but still make sure everything's running smooth with the help of everybody else. So it's all a system, and every piece is moving, and it's completely understood.
Moving, just playing the part. Like sometimes I got to step down and play some parts that I feel like I'm already light years ahead, but like I have to come back and do certain things to make sure that everything gets done. And you got to lead by example. If my boys don't see me getting my hands dirty, they're like, well, if Aske ain't doing it,
why? So it helps you kind of like stay balanced in that sense. Yeah, no, definitely. As far as what's next with any big features that you can talk about. I know you got a lot of stuff that's been cooking. I know you and Evander Grimm been staying steady, killing it.
We've been locked in.
That FIFA video was crazy.
We did some historic shit.
Yeah,
we did some things I don't think artists have done here, like stream wise and.
I think it's definitely put a huge light on, and another thing I wanted to bring up too was, and I don't know how many other people would also agree, but I feel like it would be a lot. You've definitely to me brought light to a lot of other Tucson rappers and artists, because I feel like it's been very, like, you guys are all very tied in as far as, you know, the ones you are tied in with, and it kind of gets everybody some, like, you know, some excitement in there, and it seems more like of a team movement, even though you guys aren't, like, you know, directly affiliated, but it seems like for Tucson it's like a big thing, like it's bigger than what it's been.
And that's just that, you know, like the dot connecting, man, is figuring out who fits where, and, you know, like who would. I like to put people in positions that they will succeed. So I like to really be selective with who I'm working with and who I'm associating myself with. And if I feel like there's an artist that is like super dope and they've been doing it for years, well, hey man, like, let's lock in. Like, I'm gonna make sure I can kind of put you up on another level, you know, and get you a little more than where you've been, because I believe in you. You know, I know that you're dope, and there's a few pieces that you're missing, and I could provide that for you. You know?
And if you're dope enough and you're confident enough, there's nobody else gonna take your shine. Like, you're gonna stay shining.
Yeah, because I know where I stand, and I know that my fan base is always gonna be there, and they like to see me collaborate with other artists and do that. And it's been cool so far, man. Like, last week we probably had, like, I don't know, like 7 artists all in one studio, and like it feels good to know that I could call certain people and they'll be like, yeah, like, you know, off the strength, they're gonna be there because they know what we bring, and I'm not gonna have anybody pull up just to shoot the shit and do nothing. Yeah. You know, like, if I call you, like, it's gonna be something, because I would hope that if you call me, that it's gonna be, you know, something worth us driving and you know, popping out. But, you know, and I feel like we're unifying the city, because there's always gonna be, like, you know, little shit and artists not wanting to politic, or you know, like, it's
of
always,
course, yeah, of
it's
course.
always something. But the ones that really want to brush egos and everything aside, like, those are gonna be the ones that are gonna advance, and that goes for anything, like any type of business. If you're able to be in any kind of room, regardless of who you like and who you don't like, and you can still be in that room, you won.
Yeah, you know, exactly. Like, there's once you start letting that shit kind of get in your way, then you're already behind.
It blocks a lot, you know. Like, I want other artists, fans, like, I want them to know who I am, and vice versa. So it's like, man, if we could put together a situation where we could all win, like, it doesn't hurt me at all to do that. So I've been locking in, like, to answer the question, I've been locking in with a few artists. We got some music coming. September, I'm dropping the Dave East record finally.
Thank God.
So
I've been waiting.
Yeah, man. So I just been waiting on the time, and that was the patience, man.
Oh yeah, well, that one's just an exciting one.
Yeah, it's so easy, man, because, like, Dave East is an artist that I've always rocked with, like, musically or whatever, and we had the verse for, I don't know, almost 2 years already, and it was easy to just drop it. Yeah, it's so easy.
But you want to do stuff right, like you said too. Like, you want to make sure that you got, like, everything right. It's a whole process. It's not just drop it and then hope it does good. Like,
everybody feels the same way about Dave East the way we would, you know, like, right. So you gotta, you know, dial in to what the approach is going to be, and you make sure you do it right, and you pay attention to the details again. You know, like, it's all a detail game. Like, if you love what you do, like, you're gonna pay attention to the details, and you're gonna lock in. But yeah, it's just new music, new merch. We're just gonna keep going. You know, everything that we're doing, we're gonna get better at it, and we're gonna find new ways, and we're gonna keep bringing new artists out here and showing them how we do it here, because there's nothing like Tucson. Bro.
Yeah.
You've been to a lot of places. I've been to a lot of places.
Oh, for sure.
You come back home, you know, like, there's nothing like this place.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, I've been places where it's been, you know, a lot more spread out and a lot less people. And, like, Tucson's kind of that cool thing where you got, like, a lot of people that kind of spread out a little bit, I guess, more so than, like, an East Coast city,
right.
Like, but it's still, everybody can be connected at the same time. Yeah, and it's cool in that aspect where you can still have connections across town, and there's so much going on in between that you can really, you know, network and really put together something. Yeah, so that's really good. Is there any businesses other than, you know, yourself, you know, creating music that you would like to get into later on in your life, or, you know, in the short near future? Is there any routes you would take. I know you're real focused on what you're doing now,
right.
and not to say you would be thinking about anything else, but
Right.
would you, like, in the future, say, you're like,
for
all right,
sure.
cool, getting ready to move on? Like, like, have you thought of anything that you would want to be involved in?
We're already planning it out now, man. Like, food, I love food, so.
Well, you did
Yelp.
the Yelp. You did like a little promo video for.
I went and tried a few different black businesses.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it was dope.
Yeah, because that was really cool that you did that too, and then that kind of goes back to even the marketing of like building a brand for yourself, as you're not just
more than just
the artist. Yeah, you're out here supporting people, and it goes back to being a very community based local experience, and I think that's refreshing for people that aren't even here, like because I know I see other artists and people in general just going back to their hometowns and providing value back to their people.
Exactly.
And it's like, man, that changes it for everybody to just be able to be like, hey man, you didn't forget like where you came from, and like you're really out here trying to get everybody on.
Because if you're proud of it, it's gonna you're gonna draw, like, it'll pull you back, like you'll always draw back to where where you're from and what you love, like you move differently, of course, because you have to protect yourself, but I'm always gonna be outside and pushing the businesses and people that I believe in, because I know that they have something, and who am I to keep them in the dark and not do my part. Not that I have a million followers or anything, but people, there are people that know if I say something, if I say I believe in something, they're gonna go.
Yeah, and they're gonna show the same support.
My name holds enough weight to where if I say, hey man, like,
and it's only continuing to grow at that point. Yeah,
it'll continue to grow because it's solid. That's the biggest thing, is that we're staying solid and we're sticking to what we believe in. And if I say that, I'm outside, then I'm outside. If I say that I'm protesting, I'm probably one of the people in the front. If I say that I'm trying this restaurant, I am at this restaurant.
Yeah, it's not like you're just throwing it out there, just throw it out there. Like,
no, I'm there. So and the people know that because they see me. Like they'll see me and they show love, and I'm approachable still. Like, it's never no weird shit. You see me, like, it's cool. As long as we keep it cool, like, we're fine. It's love. Like, and people know that here because they feel comfortable enough to where they can go up to me and be like, Aske, man, like,
what's up, bro?
What you're doing out here, and it's love. I'll always be grateful.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think that's a big thing, too, is just being able to kind of, like, bring those people together and be approachable and kind of, make it more of something that's a community-based thing than just, like, I'm better than you, I'm doing this and whatever. Like, you got that good balance of what you're doing, and you're killing it. Business-wise, you're killing it. You got all this merch going on. You got everything rolling out. Super dope. I'm super excited for new merch and stuff. I was gonna wear an Aske shirt today, but I was like, that might be fanboying. And then, but yeah, no. So I was like, yeah, no, dude, I'm super happy to have you on here. Thanks for participating. It's going back to helping the community. This is just here to give the audience something to listen to help them feel encouraged and prideful in what they do, whether it's entertainment, business, e-commerce, anything like that can really change your life. And it's important that people know that it doesn't just stop at owning a service business and stuff. Like, you could do it.
Anything,
you can really do it with anything as long as you take the right steps.
Exactly. Don't cheat the grind, man.
Yeah, for sure, because it's a grind for sure. But appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Always, man. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Money Making Mission podcast. It was a great episode with my man Aske. We got a lot of good information out of this, and we're going to continue to grow and get more great information from more great individuals. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, everything you can. You can find us at The Money Making Mission on TikTok, Instagram. You can get us on YouTube at The Money Making Mission podcast, as well as on Spotify. However you're listening to us, we appreciate it so much, and we, will continue to strive and grow and give you guys every bit of knowledge that we can. Peace.